Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called The Dead Don't Die. In the sleepy small town of Centreville, something is not quite right. The moon hangs large and low in the sky, the hours of daylight are becoming unpredictable, and animals are beginning to exhibit unusual behavior. No one foresees the strangest and most dangerous repercussion that will soon start plaguing the town. The dead don't die. They rise from their graves and savagely attack and feast on the living, and the citizens must battle for their survival. This is a 2019 film. It is rated R. It runs, about an hour, 45 minutes or so, and stars all the people on the front. It has an all-star cast. Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, Steve Buscemi, Caleb Landry Jones, Iggy Pop, RZA, Selena Gomez, Adam Driver, Chloe Sevigny, Danny Glover, Rosie Perez, Sarah Driver, Carol Kane, and Tom Waits. The dead don't die. I apologize, I'm still kind of getting over a cold, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was. So I actually watched this about 2 days ago. I've just been really dog sick. So I'll tell you, I wanted to see this when it came out because it was one of those kind of lower than the usual movies. And I think my theater had it for a week, but they waited like way too long, and then there was more movies to watch. So this just didn't make the list of theater, but with the all-star cast, with we actually had a bunch of ads on commercials and stuff for this. It just didn't make the big theaters. So after seeing it, I really understand why it wasn't in the big theaters right away, and I'm kind of glad I didn't go see it in theater. I think it would have been a waste of time, and honestly, there's a lot of disappointment that comes with this movie, so it's not really worth going to see on a big screen at all, ever. And if you want to watch it in the privacy of your home, just to watch it, I think that's the best case scenario, really. I thought this, as I started watching this, I kind of thought it was going to be something like The Happening, with that was a kind of an all-star cast movie. Also had a big name as the beginning of it, and the way The Happening works is that it has some light humor to set up the movie. So does this, and it has a really serious thing happen. It seems like the animals are going crazy, and so does this. And The Happening has something happen to their town that seems to be happening worldwide. So does this. And throughout the movie, it's not really that funny. It's kind of like a dry humor, kind of dry talking, some really brutal kills, but nothing too shocking, except that it's the first time you're seeing it. And that's kind of how this movie is. And so I liked The Happening, especially when I first saw it. And I liked the first half of this, but this goes on a tangent about halfway through. And this funeral home person and her storyline and their non ability to just say the obvious. You know what I mean? Like Bill Murray, he's a genius, right? We can all agree on that. If all the animals are leaving town, why isn't anybody saying, talking about that? Once there are zombies attacking the town, why isn't anybody like doing anything about it or saying should we call the National Guard or anything? There's I didn't even make a list, but there are so many things in this movie that just cannot be explained. They can't. They're stupid, or they don't follow the rules of a movie, or they don't follow rules of reality. And that's why it gets to be really, really disappointing. It's because it's not really funny at all. And there's like three people that don't mind stepping up to the zombies, but they can't even let them live to the end. So, honestly, it just doesn't follow a lot of rules that zombie movies should, and it doesn't make much sense, and it's not that funny. And those are the three things I really kind of wanted from this movie, and I didn't get any of it. So, I'm sorry with the full cast. I'm sorry with, the high expectation that I had before this movie. But it just is really, really awful because it's so disappointing that it just doesn't have anything in it that is really that excitable. And, the conversations between each other. And this is really the thing that bugged me the most. When it got to be pathetic, I was like, oh, nothing else can go worse. Then they start self identifying themselves. And I don't know why they do that when they do that, but they do it twice. Once is that they're talking about something and it's a dialogue, and then they're like, oh, are we like going through this? Like, oh, it wasn't, are we improvising now? And I was like, that's the most awkward thing in the movie. And then they don't do it again until the end. They don't self identify that they're in a movie until the end. And they start talking about the script. And it's just the most awkward times to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you could have cut those two scenes out. The movie would have had a little bit more of a flow. But they just stand out, So I don't know what they're trying to be. If they're trying to be an idiocy that, they're so stupid that they hope people follow them so that they can watch them in future years and make fun of them. And I don't know if that's what they were shooting for here. They almost achieved it, but it's just so weird. And the ending made no sense whatsoever. They just kind of did the craziest thing they could think of. And I really think Bill Murray is just bored now. He's just doing crap like this. He's just messing with us, So I can't imagine what kind of following this movie can have. I don't know who can get really much out of this, but I sure can't suggest it. I'm going to give The Dead Don't Die, it has 3 Ds there, I'm going to give it a D. And that's my lowest grade I give movies. So I'm really sorry because I really did have some high expectations for this. So a D for The Dead Don't Die. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and get something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy movies. Thanks.